Every one of those transactions could easily throw off 6 figures a year in passive income and cash flow that you pay next to no tax on. Hey, I'm Sean Katona, full-time real estate investor, and after about 70 residential transactions ranging from rentals and flips and wholesale deals and new construction, we've switched over almost entirely to commercial real estate investing. I'm gonna walk you through a few of my favorite reasons why this platform and this asset class is so exciting. Residential is going to be driven mostly by the comps in the area. What's the neighbor's property selling for? Commercial is going to be driven mostly by the income that the property produces. So when it comes to residential values, most of the weight that an appraiser puts on there is going to be the comparable sales in and around the property. So ideally, the neighbor's property that sold yesterday gives you a pretty clear indication of what this property is going to be worth, and you're not going to get a whole lot of variance from that. You look at neighborhoods, it's price per foot. Now, sometimes they're gonna use the rents, but mostly it's that best comp that's going to guide the value of the property, and it'll cap out. It either will or won't appraise because of that. Contrast that with commercial, and it'll be driven a lot more by the income that the property produces. Yes, they'll take price per foot into account, but a lot of buyers of commercial real estate will say, hey, I'm willing to buy this property at a 7% return. I'm not as concerned with the price per foot. I'm not as concerned of what the building next door sold for because the rents are half of what mine are, or mine's on a hard corner versus being a mid-block deal. And so commercial is gonna be driven largely, probably the majority, by the income that the property is producing. Dealing with people's housing, it's about as tenant friendly as it could be. You know, you don't want to displace people out of their houses in crazy times like pandemic, COVID, you get the idea. Flip that over to our commercial deals. We're investing in Arizona in shopping centers. So places of business, there for profit, in a much more landlord friendly state. If someone isn't able to meet their rent obligations, you could lock them out, within the notice period, no questions asked. So varies widely state to state. And then I think you're gonna almost always see commercial be more landlord friendly. There's less consumer protection to worry about. You're not displacing people out of their homes if you're locking them out for not paying their rent for 30, 60, 90 days, whatever the term is. So believe it or not, the tax advantages in residential versus commercial are actually pretty similar. In residential, you'll just have smaller numbers typically, whereas in commercial, you might have multiple millions of dollars of building valuation that gets depreciated, and then we can accelerate that depreciation. So rather than doing straight line over 27.5 years, you might do a cost segregation study and take millions of dollars in losses within the first few years of ownership in commercial. So it makes sense to spend that extra money to do an engineering study, to componentize all these parts of the building, to put yourself in a position to have substantial paper losses to offset the income of that building or other sources of income. And that's why we transitioned from residential predominantly into almost exclusively commercial. We just did the math on it and said, hey, I understand the fundamentals here. They're very similar, right? Buy undervalued deals in good neighborhoods, force appreciation. You can do that on a rental house. Buy a $200,000 house, turn it into a $400,000 value, rent it for $3,000 a month, have some positive cash flow there. You can do it on a bigger building. Buy it for $2 million, double the occupancy, double the income of the building, double the value of the building. Now I'm sitting on a $4 million asset value that's throwing off $400,000 a year in income. Choice is yours. Go out, buy 10 single family rentals, or go do a single commercial real estate transaction and probably end up in the exact same place financially or better with maybe a fraction of the headaches and brain damage. Like and follow to see more commercial real estate investing behind the scenes.